A crash of the US dollar can have significant effects on Americans in a number of ways. Here are some possible scenarios. Inflation. If the value of the US dollar crashes, prices of imported goods such as oil, food, and electronics will likely increase significantly, leading to inflation. Inflation erodes the purchasing power of money, which means Americans will have to spend more money to buy the same goods and services they used to buy with less money. Interest rates. A crash of the US dollar could also lead to an increase in interest rates as investors demand higher returns to compensate for the higher risks associated with a weakened currency. This could make it harder for Americans to get loans, including mortgages, car loans, and credit card debt, which would lead to a slowdown in economic growth. International trade. A weak US dollar could make US exports more competitive, but it would also make imports more expensive. This could result in a decrease in the purchasing power of Americans, as well as a reduction in the overall volume of international trade. Investments. A crash of the US dollar would also impact Americans who have investments in US stocks and bonds. If the value of the dollar declines significantly, foreign investors may lose confidence in the US economy, which could lead to a decline in the value of US stocks and bonds. This could result in significant losses for American investors. Overall, a crash of the US dollar would have significant negative effects on Americans, including higher inflation, higher interest rates, reduced international trade, and lower investment returns. It's worth noting that a weakened US dollar could also have some positive effects, such as making US exports more competitive, but the negative effects are likely to outweigh the positive ones. The crash of the US dollar would have a significant impact on Americans. A depreciating currency means that imports become more expensive, leading to higher prices for goods and services that are imported, such as oil, electronics, and clothing. This can cause inflation, which erodes the purchasing power of the dollar and can make it more difficult for people to afford basic necessities. Additionally, a weak dollar can make it more difficult for the US to borrow money, as lenders may be less willing to lend to a country whose currency is losing value. This can make it more difficult for businesses and individuals to obtain credit, which can in turn slow down economic growth. Regarding the disappearance of cash, it is unlikely to happen in the near future. While digital payment methods are becoming increasingly popular, there are still many people who rely on cash for their daily transactions. Cash is also often seen as a backup option in case of technological failures or power outages. However, it's possible that over time, the use of cash may decline as more people become comfortable with digital payment methods.